This is the Wine Tasting with Comedians podcast. I'm your host, Lyall Behrens, episode 18. We have, I normally say a special guest or a good friend of mine, but this is an interesting guest.
Complete stranger.
Yeah, you're the first guy I've had on here that, because everybody I've had on here, like, is either a friend or I've known them for 10 years.
Yeah.
And this is like the third or fourth time I've been in a room with you.
We just met in the woods last week. I just walked out of a bush.
So Justin is on. So you're also the first white guest on this podcast.
I mean, Ralph is. I'm the 1.5. I'm the first and a half white person you've had.
Okay, you're the first openly white guest.
Yeah.
On
Okay.
here.
Fair.
Ralph is like a lowercase Latin and all capital X.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's TV Latino, but like in the 90s when they like shoehorn.
Ralph is like, are you? What? Do you speak Spanish? No, so you're white. Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. He got no problem with some cheddar on his tacos. But no, but like so there's that, but there's a few reasons like I've wanted to have you on. Like one, you just seem, I'm gonna drop my first white reference.
Do it.
So there's a movie out now that Kieran Culkin, who played Roman on Succession, he's nominated for an Oscar, and the director, Jesse Eisenberg, was like, yeah, I haven't seen any of your work, but I've met you a few times, and I just feel like you could do this. I just feel like we could pod together.
For sure.
That's one.
I'll take any Kieran Culkin comparison, which I'm considering that is, but yes.
I get little vibes. Two, you said something that made me like trust you a bit as a white dude. And I don't like really be trusting white people.
Hey, absolutely. I don't trust white people.
Yeah.
I look at me in the mirror every day. Wake up to a person you don't care for.
What it was this was actually when we met. We're at a pool party. And Mateen's pool party, summer pool party.
Shout out Mateen. And we're talking. Because like a narrative about me in comedy is like I significantly outperform my calendar or my opportunities. And Ralph was like, yeah, man, like you should really get in with these Bay Area comics at the store and like they're doing things. And I'm like, yeah, but they all like racist and like cliquish. And he's like, nah, man. And then you said like, no, actually that's kind of true, Ralph. And you like had my back on that. And you're like, yeah, no, they are like really cliquish and they are like they from a certain school and there's like a kind of snootiness and like, you didn't say an air of bitch assness, but you kind of did. Sure. Like I love the store, but like, yeah, any club is cliquey. The store is cliquey. The store is cliquey for sure, just because I think it's the only club where you can kind of come up.
Yeah.
Where like if you're the improv, you have to, if you're not somebody, fuck off.
Yeah.
The store you can kind of, so a lot, I think partly it's cliquey because and it's a boys club, those guys and a handful of girls have come up together.
Yeah.
There's definitely not enough color.
Yeah.
For sure. And then, when you get cliquey white people together where they're too comfortable with each other, I'm like, you can't have race jokes without anyone of color here. We can't be doing
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to.
And you saw that, and like Ralph, and this is where Ralph's Latin side came out. He's like, no, but that's the way it is. And you just got to deal with it.
Puppy.
And you're like, yeah. So yeah, those are the reasons. And then I've seen you on other pods, and like, I'm like, oh, he don't like bitches crying, and he wants dogs to get the fuck out of his face.
Small dogs. Kind of guy. Small dogs.
Okay, you still white? I forget.
Yeah. But no, I don't like small dogs and women crying. I can't. I never figured that it's just, I can't handle it.
It's manipulation.
Don't know. You're taking an emotional hostage.
Yeah.
Like, I get what they're doing. Like, look, if you're crying because you lost somebody or it's a big deal, I'm not going to, of course I'm there.
Yeah.
That's never the case. You're crying because what, you thought about your dog who's still alive? I'm going to fucking kill your dog. Like, what are we doing? But no, I mean, I get it when you don't. I mean, guys have all the power. Physically, we're stronger. So I get the move.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not here for it. Like I will. But if you ever tried walking away from a woman crying, you're a villain forever.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's a tough situation to be in.
I've laughed while a woman's crying.
I do. Like if it's not like mom died, something major, if it's stupid, I will absolutely laugh in your face.
I had an ex-girlfriend.
Which I found out they don't care for.
They don't care. They don't care for a lot of things. I had an ex-girlfriend, and we pull up. She was with me, pulled up to a show. And we've been like wine tasting all day. It's a show in Santa Rosa. And then we get to the venue. She gets a call from her mom, and she runs off and she breaks down crying. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? She's just like shedding tears. And then I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, yes. And then she's like, and she would look so funny when she cried too. That
Sure.
was the
No one
problem.
looks good.
I know.
No
And
one
then
looks good.
I was like, what happened? And she said, my parents just paid off all my college student debt. And I'm like,
I mean, that's a big. I mean, yeah. If I got out of debt on a phone call, I'd be like, all right. But I'd be like, you can cry. We're done now. Let's go drink.
she stretched out the cry though. That's the point. Like,
How long did she cry for?
10 minutes.
How much? How in debt was she? How much money?
I don't know, but she had just got a tech job where she was making over $100K a year.
Okay.
So like she wasn't,
Yeah.
you know,
a lot of
she
good shit. Okay,
wasn't
so she
scraping
got her slate cleaned and 100K plus. It's a good week for her.
yeah. No, she's doing great.
You're a
But-
bad boyfriend. Be supportive.
All right.
No, I'm kidding. You should.
Sorry, that stepped on one of our segments for later.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I don't like with crying. It's just like, I mean, I get big events. But like if you're doing it to hold me there, or you're doing it to, it's pretty easy to tell. And I'm just like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
But I also, it just is something about a woman crying. Like it's like nails on a chalkboard. Like I can't handle it. It's just, ugh.
My thing is, if we haven't had sex and you cry in front of me,
Well, that's insane. That's insane.
It's happened to me.
No, women. I mean, here's what I'll say. Like, crying is emotional vomiting. So when you do it, especially in public, you're throwing up on everybody. Just know that. It's just rude. It's rude. Have a little common decency.
Yeah.
And shut your goddamn small dog up. That's all. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
I like this. We're coming in hot. So the thing I do on the show is I pair a wine with the guest. And for you, I got Monica from Sardinia.
I hope it's pronounced Monica.
I hope it is too. I got this for a few reasons. One, I don't know a lot about it as a grape. I don't know a lot about you. I've never even seen you do stand-up before. You don't have any really reels.
Yeah, I'm bad at posting videos. I've got a whole backlog that I'm supposed to. I just hate doing it.
Yeah. I also got this because it's like Southern Italy. You're a swarthy man,
There we
like a
go.
lot of people are in Southern Italy. And also, this is like some of the notes. This is very dry. You're you have a dry sense of humor.
Sure.
I'd say you come
Sure.
in pretty dry. But there's also something there beyond the dryness.
There's a
this
lightness
fruit.
at the bottom, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm tasting this.
What aromas you get? We normally do
It's
the
actually
aromas
good.
first.
It's definitely floral.
Yeah, floral. Yeah, like raspberry,
Mm-hmm.
strawberry, and then on the
I'm from the Northwest, so I'm going blackberry.
oh, interesting. On the palate, I get raspberry, red fruit.
Yeah, red fruit. That's I remember in junior high there was this. I think it was a Pepsi. I think it was Pepsi's version, but it was called Fruitopia, and it was this. It was just sugar water. I mean, it was just pure. But I remember there's one flavor, or it would tell you the flavors in the bag. It would just it said red fruit, and I was like, what? What does that mean?
How do you like this? Did I capture you?
No, this is good. I like this a lot. I also all my wine knowledge comes from Frasier, which I have watched front to back more than one time. Great
Frasier.
underrated show.
Frasier was I just caught kind of reruns as a kid and I
Sure.
couldn't get it. But Frasier to me was always oh, this is how sophisticated adults are.
The writing is insanely good, but also I think there's one in 13 seasons. I think there's one black person, and she's a guest star in one episode. Truly, I think it's wild how white that show is.
I mean, them and Seinfeld, man, that was the shit
Sure,
in the 90s.
I mean, you didn't have to, but it is you notice that stuff going back and watching the stuff now. You're like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
I mean, TV was segregated in the 90s. I think Will Smith only flirted with one white chick on Fresh Prince.
I mean, yeah, that sister was, or that cousin. I guess she was his cousin.
Wait,
Who was the cousin on
Hillary or Ashley? It was two cousins.
the whiter one?
The lighter one, that was Hillary.
Yeah. I had a crush on Hillary. In
That's
the
so
90s.
that's so funny because Rel Battle was on here, and then I was I was like, yeah, you want to do a all team white girl? And then he said, no, we got to do the black first. And Hillary Banks is my first pick.
Yeah, dude. She's a smoke show.
Yeah. I wish she did more.
She's great. I was a huge fan.
Oh, God, this is really fucking, I really fucking enjoy this.
Yeah, let's just drink this for an hour.
Oh, we will. We will. So, thing with wine, a lot of wine is informed by like real estate, the terroir, if you will. And I think the same could be said for comedians. So, Justin, where did you grow up?
Seattle.
Like in the city proper? Okay.
And I was born in Kirkland, which is, if you've ever been to Costco, Kirkland brand.
Yeah.
That's my hood.
Signature.
But moved to Burien, which is South Seattle, when I was like 1. Burien is, so like Seattle, I mean, now Seattle's super rich and white and techie. But when I was growing up, like Burien was hood as fuck. So my school district was like 60% black. And then me.
Could I ask you, did you feel a little good telling me?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Why do you think I know the percent? Oh yeah. This is not the first time I've let that drop.
You didn't smile, but like I saw a twinkle in your eyes as you said it was 60% black.
Because it was like all of my bullies were white and all of the guys who saved me from my bullies were black.
Yo, that's a thing. That is a thing.
Mean, I didn't once I got through junior high, like once I got to 8th grade, like no one fucked with me because the basketball team, like I can't remember how I got in good with them because I wasn't on it. But yeah, there was one guy there who like he was like no one fucks with him. And I was like, sweet.
You seem like you were just like, I feel like people fucked with you because are you like Italian or something? Lebanese?
No, I'm like a mutt. I'm Croatian and Norwegian and Black Irish and Native American and that's the mains.
Okay. All right, white. Yeah. But no,
I've gotten everything.
You've gotten everything?
Uh-huh. The amount of times I've gone on dates with Persian women in LA when they find out I'm not Persian.
I bet a lot.
Furious. And I'm like, I'm in my 30s and I have my hair. Like, what are you fuck are you talking about? And I don't hit women. Anyway.
Yo, all right. With that said, did you start doing stand-up in Seattle?
No, I started here because I'm stupid. I didn't know Seattle just didn't have a scene. It was so small when I started 2012. Seattle and Portland scenes ebb and flow. So when one is up, the other one's down. And Portland's been up.
Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, it's not, the Northwest isn't, there's not a ton, I don't know. But why Seattle has never had a scene and they can't keep a club and they can't keep a well-run club. But I mean, Seattle's like the 10th biggest market in the nation and names come to Tacoma. Yeah. Skip Seattle and go to Vancouver, go to Canada.
And because Tacoma's like 45 minutes.
Yeah, Tacoma's like our Long Beach.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Dog, I've been to Portland 3 times and Seattle 3 times, and I've got extremely strong feelings about Seattle.
Wait, mommy.
Tough pick. So every time I've done Seattle, because like I'll go to Portland and it's like in Portland, like everybody's kind of like Ned Flanders, with the hippie thing where it's like they're like annoying, but it's like you'll have some really good food and you'll like the nightlife was kind of lame, but like you're like, all right, I had a time. And
some bicyclists will scream at you at some point.
Yeah. And you'll feel like weird kind of lesbian femme energy, but it's like people are friendly. But with Seattle, every time I've done Seattle, it's been like a strong pebble in the shoe, like something's happened. Like the first time I did Seattle was 2014. I did a weekend at Comedy Underground.
Oh yeah.
And it was like the general manager, this bald dude. You probably
they had. I mean, the cook was slinging crack out of the kitchen.
Really,
dude. Underground was fucking wild.
Damn. Yeah, I've heard of.
And I'm pretty sure it was just a front. Like I'm like money laundering, but they did no business. So I'm like, how is this laundering anything?
So the shows were like never, like there's people there, but it was like I've never heard of like a sold out show there. But when it was open, but so I did a weekend there, and then some weird stuff happened with the booker. Fast forward to 2016, back when Facebook was more active. I shared some shit where I'm like laughing at like some racist shit that happened to a black kid with a white lady. And the GM of who's also a comic, which I fucking hate when that happens. The GM like is like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? This fucking racist bullshit, talking shit about white people is basically what he was saying. And I'm like, I'm clearly joking. It's like a 20 like post. And then he's talking shit, and then I'm just like laughing at him. Then he sends me a message like, man, I will fuck you up next time you're in Seattle.
Is this guy white?
Yes.
What was the name?
I can't remember.
Dude, I will say this, the Seattle scene, and I'm glad I didn't start, it's a nothing scene.
Yeah.
There's a couple good guys I know from there. There's one guy, Bo Johnson, still there, though he travels. He's fucking on the road constantly. But I mean, it doesn't produce a ton, and the animosity in that scene.
They beef so much.
Dude, it's like, what? You guys are nothing. What are you fighting over? You do not matter. You are not funny. Like, I do not understand where the beef is coming from or what you're trying to think you're going to get that this person's getting. You fucking live in Linwood. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, it is this wildly, and it's very, look, comedy scenes in general are very cannibalistic. We all kind of fucking attack each other. It's high school. Comedy is high school. Oh, it's just all over again. It's a nightmare. But Seattle scene has always, and I didn't come up in it, but I've been visiting it for 10, 12 years, has always been wildly toxic. And I have no idea why.
Do you think that's like, is there something toxic? Because I do think comedy scenes are kind of a reflection of the communities within the city.
Sure.
Do you think that there's like something?
Seattle's hard to peg as a city. The Northwest, you're either from the Northwest or you ran away to the Northwest. We get everyone's runaways. So, and we're fine with it. And a lot of people say like Seattle's like cold. We are cold. Like it's called the Seattle freeze. If we don't know you, we ice you out. And that's just, it's not because we fucking don't want to know you or don't like you, but it's like we're in the corner of the country for a reason. We live up in the corner in the woods, which is fucking leave us alone. We don't give a shit. Fuck off. If you come here, you kneel at the altar of the Northwest.
What's the altar?
You get rid of your fucking Atlanta Braves hat. You get a Mariners hat. They will bring you nothing but pain. The Mariners will do nothing but hurt you. You kiss the ring and welcome. We don't give a shit. But if you come to the Northwest, you're Northwest. So we get a ton of runaways.
So it's not, so you guys, because certain places, like.
It's not unlike LA, where the locals get very annoyed by the idiots who come to town.
Yeah.
But Seattle also, like, a lot of the idiots are now tech bros, engineers, driving the housing market through the roof.
Well, and I feel like the main difference, so LA and like other big cities, where if you aren't too bad about it, we will allow your personality to be where you're from. Like, oh, you're the fucking New York guy that hasn't lived there in 17 years. Yeah. But you like, you still keep your accent and even lean into it a bit. Oh, you're the fucking Texas person. Yeah. Whereas like, I feel like in the Northwest, especially Seattle, Washington, it's like, yo, don't bring that New York bullshit here.
Yeah, I mean, it's become a thing just because it's changed so much over the last 15 years that I think the locals especially are very against anyone new coming to town. They'll straight up not serve Amazon employees.
Really?
Yeah, because a lot of the tech companies, and I work for Amazon corporate straight out of college. It's a fucking nightmare. I got stories about Bezos. But like a lot of the tech companies will make you wear your badge out, which is like a scarlet letter, which I always said, like, what are you doing? Like, no, don't make us...
Like out when you're off the clock?
No, like when you're out on lunch or somewhere.
Okay.
And it's like, I would never, like, I also worked for Snapchat down in Venice. It was the same, well, Venice hated Snapchat because they were taking up, it was just, I was like, no, I'm not wearing my badge out. No way. I don't want anyone to know I work here. But in Seattle, yeah, the locals will straight up not serve.
Damn. That's kind of like in Oakland, there's a time where like they wouldn't serve cops.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much that same idea, which is like, because Seattle used to be a very artistic, very bohemian, very affordable town, very ethnically, culturally mixed.
Yeah.
Where like, there's a part of town called Rainier Beach. Jamal Crawford's from there.
Seattle got a lot of hoopers.
DeJounte Murray's from there. Isaiah Thomas is from there. When I was growing up, like Rainier Beach is where you weren't supposed to go as a white kid. You just was like, you weren't, but like Garfield area was another one. So there was like inland of downtown, but everything was so close together, like a melting pot. Where like one time I went too many blocks, like 2 blocks too far the wrong way.
Okay.
And an old black woman just comes out and goes, honey, you're the wrong place. You turn around, go back 2 blocks. I was like, okay. But she was like sweeping. She's like, babe, I'm not letting you go any further. I was like, thank you, lady.
I love you had a magical Negro pop up.
Yeah, totally. But like now Rainier Beach is like, there's a very bougie grocery store there called PCC. It makes Whole Foods. It makes Gelson's, and it's like Erewhon with hippies. But like, if your town,
so they're full of shit.
Oh yeah, if you get a PCC, your town's fucking go. Look, there's a PCC in Rainier Beach now. It's insane. So when Rainier Beach gets, I mean, it's like when Oakland's getting gentrified. It's like you know the end of you can't. It's not the end of the world, but you can see it from here.
Yeah, and it's just the coming back. It's like that's the reason I don't come back.
Yeah,
like
and I think it's just caused animosity with all the locals who are getting pushed out of every color because they're getting pushed further and further out of the city. And so they're just like, fuck everybody.
Yeah. I got to tell you my second and quick third Seattle stories.
Lay 'em on me.
So second time I do this club. I don't know if I should say the name of it.
Say names. We'll bleep it out.
We don't need to bleep it out. It was laughs. So I'm doing.
Side note, Laughs College. I lived a block away from there. It was a titty bar called Jiggles.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Did you go in?
Never once. Surprisingly,
you don't seem like a strip club.
There
guy.
was I don't like. It feels I want to be wanted.
Yeah,
I don't want to pay. I don't need to pay for it yet. I'm sure one day we'll get there. Also, Seattle's one of the places. It's not. There's like 3 cities in America where like strip clubs are fun. It's Portland, Atlanta, and New Orleans. And I don't know. I haven't been to Vegas, but yeah, where there's like you can drink. There's no really fucking. The first strip club I went to, we're getting on a tangent, it was A-Crop in Portland, which is like famous.
I went to the strip club in Vegas and I was really underwhelmed.
Yeah,
and
I don't think Vegas is a great place either.
Yeah, it was like a fucked up thing because it's like this dude I know, Pat G, and he runs like a service where he parks cars at like the arenas.
Sure.
And he was like, yo, I can
hustle.
hook you up. And then I'm like, all right. And then it was like some bullshit where it was like, wait, we had to tip the driver, like we had to tip the driver 50. And it's like, dude, like we could just took an Uber here. This is bullshit.
Yeah, you can't drink in the strip clubs and watch the first one I ever went to was A-Crop in Portland, and a buddy, it was his birthday. He was like begging me. I was like, all right, fine. Never been to one. Stripper clocks me, and one of the strippers clocks me and knows I must have been 22, like looked like I was 16.
Yeah.
Knew it was wide-eyed, like knew immediate. Her name was Toxic. Swear to God. And she just comes straight up to me and just goes, just so you know, there is sex in the champagne room. And I was like, huh?
Oh, I think she like wanted to fuck you, but she was also like, oh, I could get some money out this.
I mean, it's a wild place.
Yeah. I think they like love their work.
Anyway, tell your story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. No,
I do know Laughs. So yeah, Laughs. I've only heard bad things. I've avoided it. I haven't done it.
So we get there, and then like the owner, he comes up to me, and he comes up to me with a piece of paper, and he goes, "Write all your names down." And I'm like, all right, and I'm featuring for Samuel Bates. So I'm like, all right, I don't want to fuck up, because I would have told him like, get the fuck out my face if I was headlining, but I'm like, somebody brought me to the dance, and I'm like, all right, here are the names. He goes, I can't read this, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck do you need it for? And he's like, I'm giving to the sound guy, and I'm like, why don't you just send the sound guy over here?
Yeah.
And it was just really weird, and then it was like weird shit in the green room, and then fast forward, like a chick after the show follows me, and then like sometimes like I'll have some drinks, and I'll just like slide in some DMs from like some women that found me at a show. I'm like, hey, what's up? Like what's up? How you doing? And then she goes, I am having a panic attack with everything that's going on right now. It was real Palestine. And I'm like, you live in a corner of the country. You're having and you're fucking white.
You're white and you're at a comedy show tonight. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I can't. And then the third one, I don't even want to say the clubs because I don't even want to call it a club, but a bunch of weird shit happens. So yeah, every time I do Seattle, man, it's like, I don't think I'll ever be back.
No, the scene, it is a good city. The comedy scene, I would not recommend.
It's a cool city to explore. And
It is a fun city. I mean, it's gotten weird, especially like every city with homeless. It's gotten wild, but like the comedy scene has never been good. At least since I know like in the early 2000s, like Mitch Hedberg came up there, and a couple other people, but I mean that was like late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, you were like in high school or some
Yeah.
shit then, right? Because you like, what were you, like 42, some shit, 41?
About to commit a hate crime on camera.
What?
36.
36? Okay, my bad. No, you carry yourself. Wait, a hate crime. Like attacking me?
That's the problem. Unfortunately, you can't, as a white guy, you can't just punch a black guy, and because it's just going to be categorized as a hate crime. I can't just be like, he was being an asshole. They're like, no, it's a hate crime.
No, okay, you do not carry yourself like a 36-year-old.
No, I carry myself like a 67-year-old white woman, but
yeah,
sure.
That owns a bookstore.
Yeah, I do identify as a strong black lesbian woman, but trapped in the body of a homosexual-looking white man.
I don't know where to go with this. I don't know where to go with this. Okay, you're 36. All right, we're the same age.
36, not 42.
All right, my bad. I thought you were a little.
But went salt and pepper early.
Okay, well, it's not got nothing to do with your looks. It was also, I won't mention it on camera, but you told me that you did something that I thought was pretty fucking cool. So
what did I do? We'll cut this part if I don't like it.
You bagged a chick that I was.
Oh, one that you know?
Yeah.
Comedy?
We don't even need to get into that.
Okay, yeah, okay.
We don't even need to go there because I don't want to, because our producer hates when I ask him to make edits.
So that okay. No, yeah.
So I thought you were up there because of said accomplishment.
Got it.
Yeah, and I was like really impressed. And then,
then women just make mistakes sometimes.
What was so funny is like, and this is also why I thought you were old. I'm like, man, nice work. And then you were like, it was fine. Like, what? I've never like congratulated a dude about like a piece of ass he's gotten, and then he's just kind of been like, it's like you talked about it like it was like staying at like the Four Seasons isn't as nice as you.
It was the ass I think you're talking about. She's just very mean. But yeah, she did. I was on her when she became sober. I was one of the people she called to apologize. That was an accomplishment.
We're not talking about.
Okay. Then I think I know the other person you're talking about. But yeah, it was one of two. We were both. Ralph was on. All these people that we're not referencing, we were all on a basketball team together, comedy basketball with Ralph.
Oh yeah.
So Ralph
don't
knows.
Comedy because it could be. It don't gotta be comedy. It could maybe we just know.
Here's the thing. I don't ever hook up with comics. It's like a rule. So whoever we're talking about.
Get closer back.
Whoever we're talking about, this was over 10 years ago.
We can move on. I just wanted to clean up because it's like I didn't want to insinuate that you looked old. I wanted to insinuate that like the way you're moving.
I mean, I'm old, and I do move old.
Yeah, you move old. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm not
saying everything hurts. I have the weight of the world on me. No family, no kids. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I do. I don't have that shit either.
No, but no, I do. I do act like someone who's not long for this world, for sure.
Yeah.
Where are you from? You from the Bay Area?
Yeah, I grew up here till I was 13. Then I moved to Oakland.
Okay.
And then fucking hated it.
Yeah.
Started comedy at 20.
Okay.
Like right when I turned 20. And yeah.
So then when did you come back down here?
I was like going back and forth like when I turned 22.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like half living here, like a lot of Bay comics, when I was like 25 to 27. And I was like, fuck this. I need to just get my money up and let me just like really run the Bay if I'm going to be here. And then I did that for a few years. Pandemic hit. And then bounced around, was in New York for a second. And then came back and I was like, fuck it, let's just do LA. And then rest is history.
There you go. What do you like, north or south better?
Oh, I love LA much better.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's because my problem with like, and this is kind of because the stuff I don't like about like the Pacific Northwest is the same stuff I don't like about the Bay, but just more.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like.
No, yeah. The Bay is like if LA and Seattle had a kid. Topography-wise, you're getting all the weather of Seattle, but it blows through by noon. Yeah. And then it's Southern California weather, but it has the topography of the Northwest. A lot of hills, a lot of ocean views. It is gorgeous.
It's beautiful, but then it's like my issue is just like it's really the people that I always had an issue with. Where I'm like, this is dumb. Like I didn't like hyphy culture when I got there.
Mhm.
I didn't like and when I got there, like it wasn't gentrification.
No.
So it was like
Yep.
I'll
I
just-
saw the tail end of like Oakland.
Really? Where'd
Yeah.
you go?
I went to the University of Washington, but a good buddy transferred to Cal in 2007 or 8. So I got to see like the very end of like.
Oh, you still get robbed out there back then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah.
What's fucked up again? Now the gentrification shit is over because of the pandemic and a bunch of the tech companies moved out. So now like Oakland and SF is like rough.
Yeah.
In Berkeley too. Yeah, it's like
People are getting stabbed in the streets.
yeah, man. It's
wild.
It's
Sounds like my kind of town.
that's your vibe. That's not your vibe. You like your type of
The
town.
idea of walking around like a pretty town, but like knowing like I could get stabbed in it, it appeals to me. I can't tell you why, but that does appeal to me.
I think it does something for your brain, but I don't. You know, you feel like a St. Louis guy to me.
I mean, I'm a West Coast guy. I gotta have ocean somewhere.
No, I don't think you would live there, but just like the infrastructure feels like you.
I've never been, but yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, because it's like
I like
it's kinda
baseball. I know it's a
west.
big baseball town.
It's also kind of like East Coast. It's kind of south. Like you get like a lot. And that
Yeah, it
feels
does
like
seem
you.
like it's a trading post for Northeast, Southwest,
Yeah.
culturally at least.
Let's get into some segments.
Let's
I
do it.
want to get into some segments. Do we want to start with We got a few. We can start with we can go to my notey notes. Hot take corner. You want to
Hot
go
take-
first? Or you want me to set it off?
You start off.
All right, hot take. Most service sucks. I think most service is terrible, and I think a lot of service is not worth the 20% that I have been guilted into paying for most of the time. Like most bars are not like, it's not an enjoyable experience. Bartenders are distracted. They clearly have their favorites,
Sure.
but you're still expected to drop 20%. Restaurants, it's like too many restaurants. And like my issue with a lot of restaurants is like restaurants where it's like good food. It's like, it's not places I would necessarily like want to sit down at.
Mm-hmm.
Like the certain Thai restaurant, the certain Jamaican restaurant. But then it's like, then restaurants where it's like, it's a nice ambiance. It's like, all right, I don't want like some peach and goat cheese bullshit.
Sure.
This like $19, like, or this like super light cream pasta, like this fucking 32. And I just think like going out and service just doesn't hit like it does. And I think most Ubers suck. Like I think a lot of people don't take pride, at least on the West Coast, don't take pride in what they do. And I don't think the average person deserves a 20% tip, even though I will give it. And I do give it.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people are pretty bad at the jobs.
No, absolutely. I mean, you're not wrong. I do think. Have you worked service industry before?
I have not.
Okay, and I think he just laughed. That is like I think service industry should be like mandatory military service. I do think there's my hot take. I do think everyone should be forced to do just 2-year service, waiting tables, bartending, whatever it is. Because you develop an empathy for these people and because the lifers, fuck. Like in college, I bussed and waited tables through college. And I worked at this one restaurant. It was on the pier in downtown Seattle. They did a third of their business in a quarter of the year during the summer. So I was carrying 75-pound tray, yada, yada, yada. But like the guys who've been there for 30 years, I mean, so like there are after hours bars for service industry because, last call is 2 a.m. on the West Coast. Not for service industry, because that's when you get out of work is midnight 1. So there's like in Seattle, there was 3 or 4 bars where the front door would be closed, but you go around back and it would be fucking popping. It would just be
Speakeasy industry night.
Yeah, but I mean, barely trying to hide it. Like it was like everyone was on coke. I mean, I remember my first day on this job. I came up like a wide-eyed. I must have been 18 or 19. And went into the employees' room, and it's just a bunch of gorgeous women getting changed, like full on. And I was like, "Oh, so sorry." And they're like, "No, come on, let's go, come on in." And I'm like, fucking tits out, putting giant tube socks on, just like I'm in a porno. And then they're like, "Do you want Coke?" And I literally was like looking for a can of Coke. Like that's how stupid I was. And then they're like, and I was like, "No, I'm good." But they're like, "Do you want weed?" They're like, "No, I'm good." And they're like, "You're just gonna 8 hours sober? And I was like, yeah, it's my first day. But like they are all on something but it is, I mean, it's like war. But yeah, I do agree. Having worked in the industry, you have to really fuck up for me not to give you 20%. I've done it, and I've always left a note, not like a shitty one, but calling out like, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but I've been where you are. But I'll say, but I'm not always leave a note, but very rarely do I not pay 20. I will say,
Same.
I will say, yeah. So you have to like really fuck up, or just be blatantly.
Well, I've
rude.
ran like a bunch of like comedy shows as like
Yeah.
my day job, like running like 10 shows a month
Mhm.
and mostly profitable. So I've
It's the name of your comedy album.
right, mostly profitable. I'm a smart guy. I could figure out how to make a buck in this. But I being that I've done that, it's like it made me more empathetic in that way. So in that sense, I'm like, okay, yeah, I know how people can be, and I know you could have nights where you just lose your cool with some people and deal with shitty people. So that's kind of why I do the 20%.
Yeah.
Like pretty much always. But the comedian in me and like the smart guy in me is like, this is some bullshit.
No, for sure. I mean, until you've worked a double serving primarily tourists, fucking you don't know hell. Like it is.
I agree.
Because you got it for 12 hours a day. For 12 hours, you have to not punch someone in the face that needs to be punched in the face. And you have to serve them food with a smile. But I will say there are things that I don't do. So like if I'm at a bar, and I only go to bars where there's one or two bars where I don't drink a lot, but I'm a regular, but I know the bartenders or whatever. I like, if I'm, no matter, like there I'll tip well because they always have my check is always like half what it should be. But like in general, if I'm at a bar and I'm just doing buds in a bottle, like you're getting $1 per bottle. I'm not doing, when I'm paying $9 for a bottle of Bud Light but I'm a Bud heavy guy, or paying $9 for a bottle of Bud, the 6-pack is 10. Like, okay, I get where I'm at. I get it. I'm out. You make your overhead.
You're paying the ambiance tax.
Okay, but I'm giving you 9. You're popping a top. I have 4 of those beers. I'll give you 5. I mean, if I didn't pay $30 for Budweisers to give you, a $7 tip, suck my whole dick. But yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's the part that I don't like, where it's like, it should always reflect exactly what you're paying. Yeah, that's like just my issue
for sure. But I'll also say, like, if I come to your establishment to pick up food and I fuck off, you're not getting a tip.
Thank you.
You're not getting a tip.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
So like, if I throw in an order, half the time through an app because you won't even pick up my call, and the chefs cooks then do their job, throw the food in a to-go bag, and leave it by the cash register, and I come collect it and give you my money. What am I paying? What's the tip for? I'm not taking up space in your, like, I get it. But I mean, it also comes down to, I wish we would just do what Europe does and just add it into the price of the food.
Yeah.
Or pay your staff a livable wage.
Agreed. But agreed.
I digress.
No, that's just my hot take that most experiences aren't worth.
Yeah, they're not great.
Yeah, and that's just something that
I will say, I'll take it one step further. I'll say, like, well, going out in general kind of sucks these days.
Oh, definitely. I feel like it's since the pandemic. You feel it's since the pandemic?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because the dollar is worth half of what it was 6 years ago. So everything is twice as much money, and salaries haven't gone up equally. So everything is more money.
Yeah.
Everyone has less of it, which makes everyone pissed off. And no one's happy to see anybody. Like, so we're all just kind of pissed off and ready to get in a fight.
You weren't even happy to see me when I got here.
I give you a high five.
You did. It was formal.
I mean, that's happy for me.
That's true. What's your hot take?
What was my hot take? I did have one. I think one was, if I'm picking up food, you're not getting a tip. Another one is, if you go slow in the fast lane on a freeway, you should either get a ticket or I can legally ride your ass. My biggest one is like, if you are one of the dickheads, and this is primarily LA specific, who knows either an exit's about to come up or he's using an exit lane to cut the line to merge in, or you try to merge in, you try to cut the line in any kind of merge scenario or exit scenario where it's backed up and you don't do it seamlessly. If you get blocked and you hold up traffic in your lane, that should be a ticket worth as much as going in the HOV lane without a passenger, which is like $400.
I'm with you.
So, yeah. Oh, and if you don't, turn signals. I do think if you don't,
because that's dangerous.
Yeah, no. I mean, turn signal, like, I've heard people say, women's like, guys who use turn signals give them the ick because it's like emasculating. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Like women have said that?
Yeah, I always use turn signals. Like, I don't care like what, I don't care how much room I got in front. Like, here, the other thing is like, I don't care. Don't make me brake is like my only big rule when you come into my lane. Like, if you're coming in, fucking match the speed or go faster. If you come in, I don't care if you use your turn signal. I don't care how little room. If you go in front of me, if you use your turn signal, I'm like, all right. And then you take off or you whatever, fine. It's the guys who come in and it's just like I'm in the lane that they were created.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a turn signal. And it is an LA specific. The turn signal thing is wild.
Would you say worst driver? I think the worst drivers in the country is Chicago.
I've never been to Chicago. I will say, look, Seattle is no. Seattle, they're bad in Seattle. And the thing is, like, they don't know how to drive in the rain, and it rains 300 days out of the year up there. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? And the freeways are built for the rain. They're like angled in the middle. Yeah. They're graded. So you can, like, there is no, I'll fucking go 80 in the rain and see it. Like, it's fine. I'll go 80 here in the rain. Like, driving in the rain here, I feel like art and Senna. It's like no one knows what they're doing. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll just weave around people. I'm like, the only time it's dangerous when it rains is right when it rains. Because all of the oil on the streets is slicked over. So it's all coming up from the surface. And now there's just, for the first 30 minutes, there's like oil slicks all over the place. That's when you got to watch out. Other than that, you're fine. But Seattle's up there. LA's up there just because, but it's more because I think LA's full of so many people who aren't from here and don't know where they're going. So they're just constantly lost. Or constantly like in the shoulder with their turn signal on, trying to
metaphor.
Yeah, I mean, it totally. But yeah, of the towns I've been to, I mean, of where I've driven, I mean, yeah, Seattle is bad, but it's just bad for different. I mean, every town is bad for different reasons. I will say Seattle's bad because no one has any urgency. There's no sense of, because here's the thing, like, if you're driving in a major city,
like an Asian tourist,
totally, I don't care what city you're in, like, you have to be on your toes.
No.
Like, I was at a stoplight. I have a joke about this. Literally in Seattle, I've been living here for years, so I'm like an insane Vietnam War vet. And like the light turns green, the person doesn't go, and it's like 5 seconds, the person doesn't go. I'm like 4 cars back. No one honks their horn. 10 seconds. Guy doesn't go. No one honks their horn. I'm fucking losing my mind. Like, here's the thing. Like, you have to be on your toes. And if you fuck up, we get to slit your throat and drag you through the street in front of your kids. This is America. What are you doing? Like, or don't drive in a city.
Phil, we should change this to Justin's road rage portion of the show.
It's gotten bad. It has got, like, it was never bad, but it has gotten, or I just can't. Traffic never used to bother me, but now I'm just like, Today I refused to let some dickhead try to cut me on a merge. It was on Franklin. Franklin goes from 2 lanes to 1 lane at some point. The right lane becomes a right turn only. And he knows this. It's signs posted all over the fucking place. He sees it, and we're at the stoplight, and right past the stoplight is where it goes single lane. He's in a fucking minivan. And he tries to blow me off the line, and then I'm not letting him in. And so now we're just 2 cars taking up, but on his side, parked cars are coming up. And I'm like, I'm not going to yield. So either plow your minivan into some cars and tell the police that shit, or fucking hit the brakes and get behind me. No one was behind me.
All right, so next portion. Am I an asshole for this? Because it's comics. Like, we can, you know, especially both you and me, like, I feel like we're pretty grumpy guys.
Sure.
We don't always know when we're being an asshole or when we're being right.
Sure.
I'll go first.
Half the time it's both.
Yeah, right. I don't feel that way about myself, but
I've been right and an asshole for sure.
Right. Yeah. It's often about execution too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go first. I'm at a point in my life where I won't make speaking of driving, I don't make small talk with Uber drivers anymore.
No way.
Like, because all the conversations are the fucking same. It's like, oh, the neighborhood's changing, or it's about passengers they've had before, or it's just, I can't do, like, I'm paying you because I want to get drunk and I don't want to talk and I want to just listen to music and hype myself up for this show or a girl or whatever the fuck I'm doing. I don't want to, why do we need this exchange? I don't want to feel, like, I don't like feeling, like, if I'm paying you for some shit, I don't want to feel your personality. Basically.
I'm paying you for silence unless otherwise stated. I've always said, I used to have an old joke where it was like, I would pay an extra fee for silence in my, like, make it an option.
Yeah.
Like, fine, I'll throw another $2 on there. Just shut the fuck up. I mean, the amount of times that we're comics, like, you know, you take Ubers in every town you're in if you're on the road. The amount of times, I mean, I remember I was in Boston once and catching a flight out and it was early. And this guy, I mean, at 5 a.m, this guy's talking about his fucking mortgage. And his kid, like, I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Shut up.
Do you know what time it is?
Jesus Christ. What in you goes like, this guy wants to hear this?
Yeah.
At any, like, regardless of being an Uber driver, I don't care if I'm sitting next to you at a bar. I don't care if you've known me for 15 years. I don't give a shit about your mortgage. Or what, like, especially if you're going to be an Uber driver, like, learn the craft. I mean, you're a driver, like, I don't mean it's a bad way, but it's like the same with a waiter. Like, when I was waiting tables, I wasn't, like, read the person. Like, I knew if I had to chop it up with somebody, it was
that's all it is. Read the
all
person.
It is, and no one fucking reads the room.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and the people who, if you see my face and you go, I'm gonna talk to this guy, you're out of your fucking mind. You're truly unhinged. But yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. You're not an asshole.
Oh, thank you. All right, I feel good. What's your am I an asshole?
I mean, literally, that was one of the ones I wrote down.
Really?
Yeah. It is one of them.
I can go for a second one. I can go for a second one if I took yours, and you can tell me.
Go for a second one. I'll just go off all yours.
Okay. I really don't like talking to women that don't find me somewhat physically or sexually attractive.
Okay.
All right. That's cool. I can tell. All right. Here's why. It's not like an ego thing. It's like, because when you talk to most women, it's going to be like either, because like when you, and I don't mean like, oh, like she wants to fuck me.
Sure.
But I mean like there needs to be like a little bit of like, hey, what's going on here? Hey, like there's got to be some sort of like, some curiosity. There's got to be something there.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's like, it goes two ways. It's like, it'll be either like a bunch of yapping, which can like yield some disrespect. Because like women don't respect women. Women definitely don't respect men. Or it's just going to be like, it's going to be like eating clam chowder, which is like, it's just long and bland and just takes a lot of time. And
I didn't know where this analogy was going.
Yeah, it's just...
You're a long clam chowder eater?
I'm not a clam chowder guy. I've done it. I did it in Seattle and Monterey.
Cream-based soups, I'm not a fan of either.
You're having a big bread bowl and you're like, oh, okay, I'm doing this. And you're just, oh God, I got to finish this thing. And then it's like, you're not fucking finishing it. And then, but that's how I feel. Because
entering in a conversation with a woman, oh God, I got to finish this thing.
Like a woman where there's no like spark and there's no like somewhat of a, where it's like, oh, hey, like a little twinkle in their eyes. Or maybe they don't even want to fuck you, but they know you'd be into fucking them. And they kind of get off on the fact that you're kind of like a little booster. You're like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And they're like, oh, hi, I'm good.
Man, you do a lot of beautiful mind equations before you talk to somebody. There's a lot of things going through. I mean, respectively, you're an asshole, but like I get.
Okay.
My thing with talking to anybody, it's like if you're dull or if it's like I don't do small talk, so either capture me or fuck off. But like either like I'm going to engage, either it's going to be an engaging conversation, or it's going to just be surface level. Let's end this. Like when people ask me, I have a pocket. Like when people are like, "How's your day?" or "How you been?" Same old nightmare.
Yeah.
Like same old nightmare.
You said that when
same old, because it's like, look, no one is genuine when they're asking how you doing.
No.
Like, because it's like, you want to get into it? How much time do you got? But like,
I like you said that, by the way, because it let me know where you're at.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, but like, talking with women, like, I was raised by women, so it's like
As was I. Wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, no, I've always joked, like, I was, as being someone who's raised by women, like, I don't get in a lot of like, it takes a lot for me to get into a relationship, because here's the thing, anything that you would bring to a table, I already know how to do. I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I know how to load a dishwasher. I know how to do whites. I know how to use bleach. I know how to fucking do my tax. Like, I know how to do all of these. I know how to schedule doctor's appointments. I know how to work my way through an insurance company. So it's like, I don't know what you're bringing to the table, but you're yelling at me, and I do not care for it. Because that's the only thing, having been raised by women, is the only thing I have met my quota on being yelled at for the rest of my life. I will not do it. So it's like, you can be mad at me, but like, until you can get your shit together and come communicate to me why I'm sure I fucked up. You're probably mad at me for a very justifiable reason. Yeah. But if you can't articulate that without being a child throwing a tantrum, like, I got no time. Having said that, like, conversations with women, I'm fine with whoever it is. I will say, like, I actively try not to think they want to think that way. And I started doing this when I first like learned how to date, which was like, because there's so much pressure, and you're like, I want to get laid. Yeah. And so like, you're gonna fucking blow it. So I would go into every date with like, I've already lost, so just make her laugh. Because it was like, you're not getting laid, just make sure this lady didn't waste her night. So it's like, make her laugh. It would always be like, make it so when she goes home and talks to her roommate or talks to her friend, she can't be like, "You're this fucking guy." She has to be like, he was pretty funny. So with that, like, I actively, and with guys, because like, I get hit on by gay men constantly. So it's like, whoever I'm talking to, like, I'm actively like, they don't want to have sex with me. They don't want to have sex with me. Just treat them like a normal person. So yeah. If I know you want to have sex with me, it's weird. I don't handle it. Like, I don't.
Oh, see, I love it.
Yeah, I don't.
You know, one of my problems is, I think every woman that likes my comedy wants to fuck me too.
I want your self-confidence. I want your self-esteem. I like it.
It's, yeah, man.
I've always said, if you see my comedy and you still want to fuck me, you need to be committed.
That's because most of the pussy I've gotten has been through stand-up.
Which is like, that's the other thing. I mean, the guys who get into stand-up to get laid, fuck off. Like,
all right, so that's been our show.
Like, you get into stand-up because, like, especially like if I'm doing colleges and college kids come up to you afterwards and like, I want to do stand-up, like, what do I got to do? I always say, like, if you can see yourself being happy doing anything else, go do that thing. It's because this life's a fucking nightmare. It's not fun, really, a lot of the time. It's a struggle. There's no happy ending for a comic. George Carlin, 6 open heart surgeries. Like, there's no.
He's from a different era, though.
Yeah, but I mean, even like, there just isn't a lot of happy stories. Like, because no one gets into comedy because they're happy people. You get into comedy because you're broken. And I think that saying, I don't know if I read that somewhere, but it was like, that's the advice I always give. And I'm like, if you can't see yourself being happy doing anything else, I'm so sorry. Here's what you should. And I always go, like, go to Chicago, go some place with a small scene where you're not going to get seen because you're going to fucking suck for 5 years. You're just going to be bad. You're not going to be great.
Yeah.
So do it where no one's going to see you. Because if you start in LA like I did, or you start in New York, the moment the industry sees you, the first time they see you is what they remember forever. Like, they don't get that out of their brain. But yeah.
Well, that was fucking sad. I'm thinking about, I've met some great women doing this.
Women who are into comics.
No, I'm not into that. Women that are like into comics are gross. But like, like that's kind of nasty to me. Like, oh, you want to like, you be fucking us? But like when you meet a girl that's like, that she's like, I went to a comedy show tonight. And then you're like, oh yeah, let me, like you're not in this world. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I never like trust anyone who's at a comedy show.
Why?
I don't know. Because if I didn't do comedy, I'd never be at a comedy show.
Man, we gotta, but you're not like, women don't know funny people. They don't have funny friends.
Yeah, well, I think that's also like, I think that's a bigger issue of like, if you take the red pill or the blue pill and Matrix and you like plug yourself into the Matrix, and you're like, I'm going to be a 9-to-5er. I'm going to work for Amazon corporate. I'm going to get my 401k. Like, you're sacrificing your personality at the altar. Like that's goes. You've never. I've worked office jobs. There isn't a funny person in the building. They're just not a genuinely funny person. There just isn't, because
and that's why like
humor can't
humor
can't survive in that situation.
No,
it just can't. Because
you can't be funny when you gotta get shit done.
You have to, because what is funny is also dark a lot of the time, and it's like you can't make light of the darkness of your corporate life when HR is looking over you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember one time I was working. I used to work for Snapchat. I was the only employee who didn't have a Snapchat account. They did not like that. But I remember, I shouldn't probably name the company. Let's say I work for a company, and this girl showed up, a coworker of mine, worked with her for well over a year. Shows up with boobs 3 sizes larger.
Wait, where'd she show up?
To work.
Okay.
3 sizes larger than they were the week before. And she had just missed a few days. I know what went down. Good for you. But like now I got to pretend that we don't. I knew her well enough to go like, are we going to pretend that you didn't have to buy a whole new wardrobe this weekend? And she laughed. But like you can't do that any other place.
See, I would have said, I'm in the mood for some milk.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you wouldn't last long. But yeah.
People say that about me. People say that about me. All right, I want to do this. What was the last segment I want to do with you?
Something about relationships, chasing women.
Worth the bullshit.
Yeah.
So we deal with like a lot of bullshit in the name of pursuing women. And there's certain things where it's like, is it worth the bullshit?
Mm-hmm.
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I mean,
like a story or scenario, and I can like.
I mean, I got a few of them. I have a thing. I have so many opinions on this. The chase, I think is stupid. I've always hated it. Let me know. Like I don't read signs. Women's nonverbal communication is trash.
Oh yeah.
Also, I'm an idiot. So like, if you're trying to give me the sign at a bar to come talk to you, like you may as well, you need the orange cones like guys on airport runways have guiding. Like you need to like, that's the amount of like, get over here that I need. Cause I'm just like, I don't have a pickup line. My pickup line is, I'm sorry, I'm doing this to us. Like when you come, like, why I'm coming over. Like, why we got to pretend I just want to like compliment you on your fucking dress. Like, yeah. So that's that. Chasing, I also think the chase breeds toxic masculinity. And I think it teaches, and it's why you see gorgeous women with fucking idiots, sleazy dickheads, is because they're the guys going up to them at bars. And they've been taught, and I've seen it happen countless times, especially in this goddamn city, where they just hound the woman. This poor woman is just at a bar, and it's like, can I get you a drink? No. Can I get you a drink? No. Can I get you a drink? No. Would you please leave? Can I get you a drink? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Fuck, Jenny. Yes, get me a drink. And it's like, you just taught this guy that he can shit in the living room.
Oh, that's what they be doing? That's how it works?
Oh, yeah. I've seen, I mean, it is. So they'll just like, or, I mean, and then a lot of the time is like, they're the only guys who are going up to them. Is these like weird, because you have to be in, but. So I do think like I tell gal pals of mine, like, I'm like, if you go up to a guy and buy him a drink, you're bat 1,000. Like you're never striking out.
I fucked a girl that did that once.
Dude, it's the most flattering thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I've had women who come up to me where I'm like, not in a million years would I have, but I'm still like so flattered. And like, you're not gonna no guy's gonna tell a woman who comes up and chats him up to fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, we're not gonna know it. Like, worst case scenario, that guy's gonna tell his grandkids about you. You're like, I never loved your grandmother, the woman of my dreams. Bought me a beer in a bar. I never saw her again. But yeah, so the chase to me is, and it's never worked out well for me. I'll do a story that just happened. It was dating a girl. It was casual, which is, I don't do dating long enough that I found out what works for me. What the rigidity of.
Have you ever had a girlfriend before?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But
how many relationships have you been in?
Like serious.
Yeah, serious.
Two.
Same.
Yeah, like it takes a lot for me.
Yeah.
The other thing is this, and I think women are more emotionally mature. They know how to handle heartbreak. They can like move, like
That's true.
they know how to process it. They know how to work through it and move through it. Guys, like that loss sticks with us forever. Like it's a tough. Like I've always said,
it's like going to war,
dude. Like a woman fucks you up. Like you don't ever. But because we're emotionally, we don't know how to process anything.
Also, like we're alone more than they are too.
Yeah, but like, but I've always said like I went through one bad heartbreak, and I was like, I got maybe one more of these, two more of these left. I can't go through this again. Like then I'm retiring. Like if it doesn't work next time, like I fucking cannot. But anyway, I was dating this girl. It was casual in the beginning, and it was never really full guns on the table, but she's like, hey, just so you know, I'm still untangling myself from my ex. We're not an item, but occasionally we grab dinner. Had sex a few times since we've broken up. It's terrible. And I was like, yeah, okay. It was like, this is perfect. Because I wasn't in a place where I could be a boyfriend. It was like a lot going on. So I was like, perfect. Because no one has a clean break with an ex. So I was like, yeah, this is great. This is like, I get a run up. I get a long on-ramp. This is golden. And she was great. She's fucking hilarious. And
really?
I liked her. She was so funny. I liked her a lot, and we had a blast. But like, it was a date for like 6 months or whatever we were doing. And it got to a point where like we had, in the beginning, it was like, this is casual. We're not looking for anything. Both of us were like, and then it got to a point where I was like, we got to have a talk. I fucked up. I caught feelings. So our pre-agreed upon plans, the contract is untenable. It's gonna be hard.
Untenable.
And she like
bitch, this is untenable.
She like understand. I was like, and look, I get it. Like, we can call it here because that's not what you're looking for. And she was like, no, she cried, and she was like, no, I want to. So I was like, okay.
You fuck her one last time?
No, but we kept going because she was like, I want to keep doing it. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and then, but she was always busy. She was always distant after we hung out. I could never, but I was like, commit to the chase. I was like, you never do it. You really like her. Fucking let's go. Sack up. So I did. And there was a couple things that I've like, red flags that I'm like, are true, that I'm like, don't blow by them, and I let them go, which is like, if you don't hit me back, if I text you and you don't hit me back for 8 hours, like, okay. Like, I know where no one is busy. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're running NVIDIA. You're not so busy as to respond yes to a text.
Yeah.
It would be that with her. There's a couple other things. But anyway, we were trying to set up a time to hang, and she was busy one week and I was busy next week, but I was like, I was doing a weekend in San Luis Obispo. Don't tell. I was doing some comedy. And I was like, if you want to come up with me.
I know what a weekend is. Yeah.
I was like, if you want to come up with me, we could, say the banana in, yada, yada, yada.
I like that.
And she was like, oh, you want to have romantic? And I was like, yeah, I mean, if you're down, like, and she was like, I got plans that weekend. I'm gone. I'm going to be in San Diego. And I was like, what are you going to San Diego for? And she just goes, yeah, live, laugh, love. And I was like, huh?
Some hoe shit.
And I was like, girls trip or nah? And she goes, nah. And I'm like, are you going to San Diego with your ex-boyfriend for Valentine's weekend? She goes, yeah. And I was like, good day. Fuck. So fuck the chase.
So done like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, here's the thing. If I'm going to be part of a pitching rotation, if I'm going to be rotation, fine. I don't want to know about it. The moment I find out I'm not top of the order, I'm not top of the rotation, I'm not your opening day starter, I'm not your game one guy, fuck off.
Yo, that's the problem with these bitches, by the way. One of them is they don't know how to like make us feel like, cause we'll hide the fact. They'll be like, you the side chick, but I ain't gonna make you feel like the side chick.
That was the thing. I found out I was a side chick.
Wait, you didn't know?
No. She didn't tell me.
Obvious.
She didn't. No. I mean, now that's why I feel I'm a dumb bitch. Now,
Yeah.
absolutely 100%.
Respectfully.
100%. Not even respectfully. I'm a dumb bitch. And like now I look back at all, I had all the things lined up. I just needed the lens.
Well, he was an ex. Like he's always gonna be above you.
I just needed the lens to see. I didn't know it was still going on. I mean, this was 6 months after she had told me. So I had figured it had untangled itself. It hadn't. It had gotten more tangled.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was a side bitch. And I was like, here's the thing.
Because he's not committing. That's why that was happening.
And I've been in that situation. The moment you find out a person has feelings for you, because I've been the guy where a woman is like, I really like I have feelings. And I'm like, I don't have those. You cannot fucking waste their time anymore.
Yeah.
You can't drag them along. Now you're being irresponsible. You have to have the talk. You have to be like, you are great, but I don't. It's not mutual. You cannot string them along. So, and we had the talk at least 2 times. So she knew. So anything after that, continuing or like not letting me know what's going on, if you have that talk with somebody and then you keep stringing them along, you're being a piece of shit. And like anytime I've been in that situation, my conscience won't let me do that. Wow. I've had multiple conversations with women where it's gotten to that point and I've had to be like, well, fuck. I love having sex with you. But like, I get it and I don't want it. It's the emotional part isn't there or whatever it is. And you just have to fucking let it go. But yeah, the moment someone sacks up, because it's hard, it's scary to tell someone like, I got feelings for you.
Yeah.
It is not a fun thing. The moment they do that.
See, I do it like in a manipulative way though, because I can't even do it straight up.
Yeah, the moment they do that and if you don't have those feelings and you keep letting it go, you are being a shitty person.
You know,
so she did that.
My favorite chick I ever had sex with, I let her know how I felt, and then she was like, I think we should just leave this where it is and it's in a good place. That's probably why she's my favorite person I ever had sex with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've told 2 women in my life that I love them that aren't my family. And so far I'm 0 for 2 on getting it back.
How many women have I told How many women have I told I loved it I'm not related to? I had 2 girlfriends. Favorite chick I ever had sex with. One where I was like drunk. It don't count.
Don't count.
Yeah, it don't count. And I was like out of the breakup. And then there was one where it was also after my last breakup. I said, "Hey, I just need to say I love you." I mean,
that is there should
and
be.
I said that while we was fucking.
I've always joked there needs to be like, I'm not an escort or prostitute, guys, and I might, but I would pay to have a woman. Can I just tell you I love you? It's like, and you don't have to. I just need to say it, or like it's an old guy, a father figure. Look, can I just tell you will you just tell me you love me and hug me?
We need
here's $150.
Yeah.
You walk afterwards.
We wasn't using a condom, like so. Like, why not? Like, I never use condoms. All right. Closing this out, I gotta go with my.
What's your take on the chase?
Oh yeah. For your situation, is this bullshit
or chase in general?
On the chase in general, I think it's personality based. Because like the thing is, women like mystery. So like, if like my biggest problem with women in dating is that like I'm too real for these hoes. Like I'll be like, look, I don't like this. I think lunch is too anticlimactic for me. Like I told a chick lunch was too anticlimactic for me, and she said that's really negative. And it's like,
yeah,
no,
well, you know right away. She's like, that's negative. I'm like,
we're just getting started.
Tip of the iceberg.
Right. And so it's like I'm very like just real up front. I don't like wasting time. Like I got too much shit going on. I'm black. I might die. Like I can't. like I'm trying to fuck. Like what you want to do? I like you. Like can we speed this up?
Yeah.
So yeah, that shit sort of like
Yeah, sexual chemistry, and it's like people don't want to talk about it. It's super important to a relationship, and I need to find that shit out like quickly.
Okay.
I don't want to drop $500 on you through 2 or 3 dinners to find out you're a bad lay. Respectfully.
Okay.
Like, or like you're vanilla and it's missionary in the dark under the covers. Like, good for you. Like, you do you, but that's not my thing.
So I got to read you these texts. So I went out with this chick,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a good date. It was a good date. I took her to my pussy restaurant, and
Yeah, pussy restaurant.
I told Ralph about this.
I
Like,
gotta
so a
get
pussy
one of those
restaurant
things.
or a pussy bar
Sure.
is some place you've taken a chick there, you've closed, you have a rapport with the staff, and these are places I tip like 25% when
Sure.
I go.
Absolutely.
Like I like over tip.
Yeah.
And it's
For their silence.
the silence and then
Yeah. For their non-judgmental looks.
I feel like a Hollywood mogul when you say
Yeah.
for their silence. No, but like yeah, for that, and then I know I'm gonna get better service. They'll slide us something, be extra nice. Like they're like, oh, ha, ha. And they'll like give me like a little like blush when they like look
Sure.
at him with the bitches, you know. So I took this chick out that I met at a show, and she was like, she was a fun date, and anyways. But she's 40. I've like gone
36?
34. Now I'm gonna commit a hate crime. No.
You said we're the same age, so I was
same shit. 34, 36, same shit. Yeah, you born like what, 88?
I dated, yeah.
Same
I
shit.
like I only dated older women for like most of my life.
That's a smart man. Because you're mature.
No, they weren't mature. That's what you
They
find
never are. So she texted me. I'm just gonna read you some of these texts.
How long ago was this?
Last week.
Okay.
This is a week ago. I don't judge, but I do test. Here's another one. Some STIs don't show up until a few months later. Better safe than sorry. Then she said, this is where like my dick got soft. Oh yes, I insist on my partner being tested before we mattress Mamba. Doesn't everyone? I said, not at all, LOL. After the tests come back correct, can the condoms at least be off? To what she said, oh, hell no. Then she said, you celebrate and have oysters and shellfish and champagne
Jesus
and bang
Christ.
out all night.
Yeah.
And I said, clean and still use condoms? You different. And then she said, I don't, because I'm not messing with my hormones for a man. That seems pathetic to me. Maybe that's why I'm so healthy. This is negotiated and privileged and always worth it. Then at one point she said, and this is the thing that really, really turned me off. She said, I mean, they call sex the poor man's polo for a reason.
Never heard that.
I threw up in my mouth when I got that text.
I mean, the pussy's being put on a pedestal, which is always, I have my issues with it. Like it's an exchanging of goods, and
Yeah.
you're going to get yours. I'm not good at many things, and I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but like, you're not going to want a refund. So like we're both going to have a good time.
Yep.
Not one of us should be more thankful than the other one that we're here. And a lot of women will want you to be like,
I needed that.
Yeah. Like I want to know how bad you're happy to be here. And it's just like, I want that too. Like, do you want to be here? I have to like, if I don't read between lines anymore in my, like, I'm not, if you say no, no's no. I don't do soft no's. I'm like, if you're throwing me different, like, I don't care if you're throwing me mixed signals. If you're saying like, I don't know, then I'm like, okay.
And that's how you end up on a Reddit post.
Yeah. So like,
5
I'm not,
years.
but like,
so it's consensual, but it wasn't like, you ain't gonna fucking.
I will say like,
me.
if I, at this point too, like if I'm with a new part, like it's been sussed out a little bit. There's been some interviewing, at least before we meet, it's the dating apps are what they are. But like, I typically will get tested. There's a free clinic near me and it's super easy. And I just like knowing I'm super.
You be fucking raw?
What?
You be fucking raw?
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, only if I get tested and they like have an IUD or they are on, but like I'm not doing random women like that.
Oh, I will.
And I get like why they don't want that. Absolutely. But like if
Can I tell you why I fuck raw?
If I have a condom on, like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting tested to wear a condom, is what I'll say.
Thank you. Oh, so this isn't worth it, right? This pursuit isn't worth it, right?
No, her personality is fucking awful.
Thank you.
Look, you're no lighthouse in the dark, but like, but yeah, she's a prude.
I'm no lighthouse in the dark.
Yeah.
You think I don't have a good personality?
I think you have a lovely personality. Well, I like your personality.
Is that why
But, like,
it doesn't work for most people?
I'm like, your personality with her doesn't match at all.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, can you name a situation? Is your imagination good enough to think of any scenario where she would make you laugh?
No.
Unironically?
No.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a main tenet of what I look for in a woman now, at least, which is like, I'm too old. Like, I used to like just be hot and I can tune out your voice and your words. I can't do it. Like, I've listened to everything.
Especially if it's going to take that fucking long.
Yeah. So like now,
close.
like I have to want to hang out with you. I have to like enjoy your company at this point.
Can I tell you why I be fucking raw?
Lay it on me.
All right, so I pretty much, just the way the cookies crumbled in LA, I only fuck college-educated white women that take care of themselves.
Okay.
College-educated white women in metropolitan cities don't have
That's
kids.
your comedy album.
What?
College Educated White Women is the name of your comedy album. Anyway, great. All right. I like the demo. Okay.
Yeah. Who you be fucking?
I like at this point, women who are like, I don't know, like you have to be funny. You have to like no affiliation with comedy, really.
Facts.
I don't.
Fuck with that.
I haven't ever. I mean, early on, I hooked up with a few comics, but I don't think any of them are still doing comedy.
I got something I want to say, but I won't.
Now I know.
I know. I got a really good joke, but I'm not gonna make it.
Now I think I do know who you're talking about.
I'm gonna make the joke.
But yeah, you have to. Strong women. You have to have. I cannot be the most important thing in your life. You have to have. You have to be a big girl job. You have shit going on, and like I'm a couple orders down the rotation. I've always said like women who have small dogs, we're not going to work because you like something that needs you. You like, and you like something that needs you so much. Like when you leave, you hear it whine and something that would die without you.
Here we want to talk about like pets.
I'm a big dog. I'm a big dog girl. Girls with big dogs are always independent, awesome, cool, funny, get it. The pussy.
Get in my car. We go for a hike. Yeah. But like the little.
Yeah. I mean, if your Chihuahua can do the hike, it's not a fucking hike. In any event. Yeah. I mean, strong, self-empowered women with shit going on who are funny. So it's a narrow.
I like hoes.
Still, finally, I was a late bloomer across the board sexually. I'm finally coming out of my hoe phase. Thank God. It's exhausting. But everyone goes through their hoe phase.
I'm not in a hoe phase. I just like hoes.
Okay. But I've always said like the hoe phase is its nature. No one outruns their hoe phase.
Yeah.
Nobody. So your options with the hoe phase are go through it in your 20s, early 30s when you're in your physical prime. Go through it middle age and fuck up a marriage. Or catch a bunch of rusty old dick and dusty pussy in the old folks' home. Which of those options do you want to choose?
And that's the name of your comedy album. Rusty Pussy and Dick and Old Folks Home.
Rusty old dick and dusty pussy.
Justin Clark, thank you.
Dude, thanks for having me, buddy.
Appreciate you. My man.
A pleasure. And we killed the wine. That was great.
Did.
That was great wine. Solid choice. And I am going to pronounce it Monica.
Monica.
It's for sure Monica, but I am going to pronounce it. I mean, it's for sure Monica, but it's Monica.
That's fucking delicious.
I feel like this is Italian wine.
Yeah.
Italians have Monicas. There's for sure some Monicas in Italy.
Yeah, this is Monica Bellucci.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.